Butch from TechRaptor. We are at TechWeek 2014 here in Chicago, Illinois. I'm speaking with Christian Dawson from the Internet Infrastructure Coalition, or I2 Coalition for short. Christian, tell us a little bit about the organization and what it is that you guys do.
So we are a trade association that is made up of the people that build the nuts and bolts of the internet. So you're talking about web hosting providers, data centers, registries, registrars, cloud infrastructure providers, the people that rack and stack servers. So the entire digital economy sits on our infrastructure. And so we're a pretty important part of this economy. And what's interesting about the internet infrastructure space is that it's mostly small to medium businesses.
Definitely. Now you just gave a talk here at TechWeek about how the NSA and their invasion into our privacy is really affecting more than just the internet, more than just our privacy. It's starting to affect the economy here in the United States as a whole and kind of the whole world economy in the way that things work at this point. Tell us a little bit about what you guys have been doing. I know you said you've been out of Washington trying to lobby and working with legislators. Tell us a little bit about that and I guess your thoughts on how things are progressing.
Well, we've been working for a long time trying to show legislators that surveillance reform is causing real harm to the cloud sector. The fact of the matter is that we are on a daily basis in the United States cloud sector losing business to overseas because people do not believe that the United States cares about privacy or maintains good privacy standards. And we are attempting to go up to Capitol Hill and say, listen, guys, we're not safer when we have a weak economy. We're not safer when we are losing jobs left and right. The tech sector is the thing that has worked most in this global economy for the past 20 years. And what the actions of the NSA are significantly, negatively affecting this part of the sector. It's going to have really bad negative effects.
Well, yeah, I mean the tech sector as a whole, from what I remember a couple months ago, I believe a study was done, it's supposed to expand by about 30% in the next 5 to 10 years. And the question is, if we're losing, so Verizon yesterday obviously lost a big contract because they don't trust U.S. Telecom. How is that going to affect that 30% growth? Is that going to happen? How is that going to negatively impact our economy?
Well, the economy, the tech economy is going to grow. Is the tech economy in the United States going to grow to the capacity that it could? The answer is definitely no, right now. We need to take major steps to regain the confidence of the world to put the United States tech economy back on track for the growth that it's capable of. Because yes, we have absolutely lost the confidence of the world.
And you mentioned something in your speech to try to avoid, obviously this whole big Snowden, all the media, the circus surrounding it all, it's good, it kind of opens up the American public to what's going on. It's really kind of died down a bit. But you mentioned not using the term Snowden revelations. Right. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, I cheated a little bit because the name of the speech was The Post-Snowden World 1 Year Later. And then the first thing that I said was, okay guys, now let's take a look at the phrase Snowden revelations, which is like what we've used most in the past year. Mm-hmm. And let's talk about why that's not the phrase that we should be using. When we're talking about the actions of the NSA, we're talking about something with global impact. When we're talking about Snowden himself and whether his actions were good or not, we're not talking about something with global impact. At this point, for most of the people, it's entertainment. But it takes our eye off the ball when it comes to dealing with what it is we really need to be dealing with, which is the actions of the NSA. The revelations word I also don't like, because it's almost as if the act of knowing or the act of finding out is the bad part, when it is the actions of the NSA that are the bad part. And so I'm hoping that people will join me in throwing out the word Snowden revelations and focusing the attention on the actions of the NSA.
So how do you think the best place is, the best way for the general American public to get involved and really kind of take a stand against this issue?
So,
because there's so many ways, you know.
There are a lot of ways, but that also makes it more confusing, right? I'm going to give you some ideas, but it's not easy. I was part of the fight against Pippin and Sopa.
Okay.
And that was in a way kind of great, because there was a drop dead date that if we did not take action, bad things were going to happen to the internet. And so everybody could gather up all their resources and point them in one direction and say, let's change the world by this date. Right now, we don't have a piece of legislation that we can point to and say, this is going to go to the floor on this day, so we need to save the internet, we need to fix, we need to have real NSA reform, and this is the path forward. There's not a path forward right now. And that's a particular problem. A couple of things that we can do to improve our status in the world right now is, one, we focus our attention on encryption. If we run networks, if we are network operators, if we work on the internet, we focus our attention on encrypting everything, and that can make a big difference. The other thing that we need to do, because there aren't these NSA reform bills out there the way that we need them to do, is in November we're going to have an election. Everybody needs to find out who's running, and everybody needs to do whatever they can to make this the election issue for this November's election. Maybe a new Congress can come in here and propose specific legislation that's going to change things and regain the confidence of the world. And if they do, then we can have our Pippa Sopa day. We can have the day that changes everything. Right now, we have almost the harder work of, on a daily basis, figuring out how we can make slow progress towards the change that we need.
And obviously, your coalition, you guys have a number of partnerships, it seems, with other companies. So companies who are looking to get involved should definitely come to you guys and work with you on just trying to push this forward and make progress with what is an uphill battle.
It is an uphill battle. I've been up to Capitol Hill quite a bit, and because we represent business and we can talk about the jobs and economic impact, we get listened to more than the people, who I love, who go up there and say, oh, what you're doing is unconstitutional. Or they talk about the social implications of NSA reform. It's very easy for certain legislators to ignore those messages, but it's hard for them to ignore a business leader walking in and saying, you're losing me jobs. You're losing economic growth in your district, and you're going to have more of your constituents out of work. And that's the message that groups like ours, who are focused on the business aspects of making the case for NSA reform, can do. And so if you are a business on the internet and you want to be a part of that type of work towards a really positive, really important goal, in my mind, like the most important goal that we can have as a society right now, then yeah, go ahead and go to i2coalition.com. I, then the number 2, coalition.com, our nickname for the Internet Infrastructure Coalition. Write us and get involved.
Christian, thanks for talking with me. I always love talking security and tech. Obviously, to our viewers who are interested in moving this forward, check out i2coalition.com. Stay tuned to TechRaptor. We'll be probably posting a list when we get closer to the election of candidates who really support what it is that we're looking to move forward and bring back some security to our life on the internet and to jobs here in America. So just stay tuned to our Facebook, our Twitter, and our website. Thanks.
Thank you for listening. Appreciate it.